Oh, Crypto Nation and mining family, what's going on out there, guys? What's up, what's up? We got all of the awesome people out there. We got Jason the Tiger Osborne, what's up? We got John Jermaine, Golden Wolf, yo. We got that Gundy stuff and things. What's going on, Anonymous? Keeper of the Code, what's up, Goblin? Tains, yo. And what's going on, Oyster? Tech Man, what's going on? We got Jeffrey Harrison, yo. All the awesome people, and oh, we got the Doge Lord himself in his house, yo. Oh, you get some awesome merch over there, you know, don't delay, buy today. Or if you're into that brewing category and you like yourself a hot cup of Joe, don't delay, brew today. DogeLord.com. Their own specialty coffee brew now. And Anonymous is like, what's going on, FA? It is definitely FA for sure.
Definitely FA, lady. I'm about to switch to my laptop.
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
It's giving you hell.
Yep. That's it. I have a direct wire connection, so
All right. I got every once in a while we got them technical difficulties, especially when people are moving. We'll cut them some slack this time, guys. This one time. Right. We'll cut you some slack for whenever you were trying to do a video at your house, and the feed was like, we don't think you deserve video today. Sorry. Please try again. Oh yeah, it was hilarious to see how chopped up you were when you were playing. I'm like, oh my fucking lord, dude. This is like whenever I first started with my archaic computer. I'm like, it can play video games. Why shouldn't it be able to stream? Yeah, I was lying to myself. Yeah, it could barely game, I guess. Now that I have, once I upgraded, I'm like, oh my lord. This is what 1080p high definition is all about. Wow. And you can mine on it? Oh shit. It sounds like Donkey Kong now. All right, man. Move over to that laptop. We'll wait for you up over here, my man. So as he's sitting there and switching devices real quick, yo, well, how is everybody doing? Hope your rigs have been happily hashing. I know mine have. I myself, I mean, like to kind of go along, you know, with, you know, the EIP. Has anybody switched to a different algorithm since EIP 1559? Just you don't have to tell people what you switched to. Just be like yes or no. If you switched off of Ethereum since EIP 1559. Anonymous like, no algo switching here. He's like, I stayed right where I was at, man. Gold Wolf, not really. Jeffrey's like, I only moved to 1070s and 1060s. All right. Oh, 1070s and 3060s. Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, I get it. You know, some of the lower hash rate cards move into something that it can compete a little bit more effectively with. I get that one. Oh, we got a Ergo miner. Nice, nice. What's going on, unknown crypto? And Techman, he's like building the 4th rig. Nice. Oops, I forgot to put that on vibrate. I hate when I forget to put my phone on vibrate. Golden Wolf is like, I'm not trying to mine Raven. Yeah, unfortunately, with the whole Kapow algorithm, I mean that's a pretty power intensive algorithm, and people don't understand that. For every 1 watt, does anybody out there know how many BTUs per watt of power once it's being utilized? Does anybody know how many BTUs in 1 watt? And I know I've said it once before. See if you guys were paying attention. Tech Man's like, pi, 3.14. That is correct. So it's like you guys got to remember that every watt being used is adding 3.14 BTUs worth of heat generation. That's why one gaming computer can heat up an entire bedroom so effectively while gaming, because of the amount of wattage that's producing BTUs. That's got to go right into that room. Hey, you are here. I finally hear you. And you actually, you sound a little better. Oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah. Like I can hear you. What's happening? I started quizzing. You know, I just asking questions, getting crowd interaction on this. Oh yeah, oh yeah. Yeah, I'm pretty much the same way, Tech Man. I usually remember as pi as being the closest thing to it. It's like between 3 pi and 3.14 and 3.5. It's like I got it written down somewhere. Yeah. I have no idea. You are soft and sensual today. Mm.
I can turn my game up.
Yeah, give me a voice, a sound check from your side. Oh yeah, you are way low.
Is that any better?
Whoa, too much. Just a pinch too much.
Alright, is that any better?
perfect. I'm like trying to get you into the
75%.
into my yellow zone there. Yes, that nice little crisp yellow zone.
Yeah, y'all should be able to hear me better now. Should be. Very thank you. Yeah, well,
He's using laptop microphone. He's not at home.
home is real.
Right. It'll be your new the new home. You will be officially the first living inhabitants in there.
Oh, man.
You'll be able to crack the first fart in the bedroom.
I already did it.
Sweet. Oh, nice. Oh, yeah. You know it. You'd be like, this is my territory. Yes.
Except for me, it's still too low. So, let me know. I can turn it up a little bit more.
Just a pinch.
He said then when he said it was too loud was good.
Fucking figures.
We'll move it up a little bit. How about that? Let me know what it sounds like, guys. Sounds like we're the other room. I'm right in front of my laptop.
Oh my god, it's so loud. I have to turn you down a little bit.
Just turn your volume down. Because apparently this is good for everybody else. That's doable.
Oh god, it's like ear piercing on my side for the first time. I'm
Turn
like,
your headphones down.
that's what I'm doing now. It's like, oh.
And that is it. He said, Oyster says, that'll do for now. That'll do, pig.
Right. I know it's like he's
Close your earlobes.
he's the quietest person ever. And then when he gets like really loud, it's like, oh my god, I can hear him.
Really
It's
loud, it's
wow.
loud. I don't have like a in between. It's either too low or too high.
Right. It's like,
Like, oh, you're so quiet. Oh, you're so loud. Just pick one. No, you pick one.
right.
I don't want to pick.
And then when it's like everybody else and he's back on a normal mic, I'm gonna have to turn everything back up now.
For sure.
Keeper the code's like, posted you a video in Discord, you'll appreciate it. He's like, got the new wheels installed. Nice. I will have to take a look at it for sure. For sure.
Faux cheesy. Faux cheesy.
So my man, so what in Hashrate's going on in here?
I don't know, man. Tell me. Got
Okay.
the new, people are getting those 3600s, man, and doing awfully well with them. Or, sorry, 6600. 6600 XTs. Doing about 32 mega hashes right now for 55 watts. That's pretty dang efficient. It's like terrifying efficient. Like, not like in a bad way, but a great way. For about $300 to $400, that's what you get. Little on the steep side. They are AMD cards, but I'm very interested to know maybe like once more Power Tools gets a hold of it, what's going to happen? Are we going to be able to pull more watts away and still maintain the hash rate? Are we going to be able to give it a lot more better timing and improve the hash rate while maintaining watts? Because 55 watts is like dang good for Ethereum at 32 mega hashes. I mean, of course, the mega hash is the same as, you know, a 580 or 570, but at that low of wattage, you can't do that on a 570 or a 580.
Nice. Tech Man, I'm like reading what he just put in there. He's like, I can max the 220, 20 amp, 220 volt plug to 3,520 watts, 80%. It's 12,000 BTUs of heat and 1.5 tons of air movement will be golden.
Right on.
Now, depending on the room, depends on the math of how much CFMs it's going to take to move 1.5 tons of air, and equating that to what you can move every 60 minutes.
Right.
Like for me, I've got two 30 amp circuits almost maxed out, and I've got like 12,000 CFM of air movement, which equates to exchanging the air like almost 200 times an hour.
Very nice.
Oh yeah. It's nice. He's like small space, 600 square feet. Nice.
Anonymous Miner, nice, dude. Unknown Crypto gets to test his 6600 XT when he gets home.
Ooh.
Nice, very nice. It's an interesting card. I don't know if anybody else seen what Sapphire released, but you remember our little 16 gigabyte 570? Well, they have now released the big brother to that card. And it is still a 570 with 16 gigabytes, but it is it's a dual die. There's two 570 dies on it.
That was that workstation card, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Sapphire. That's the one that they made. Well, they've made a new one, and it's a dual Radeon RX 570 graphics card. Dual chip TDP of 150 watts, 8 gigabytes of memory per die. Testing it on Ethereum because this is a mining specific card. You're getting about 59.69 mega hashes for about 150 watts. So,
see, that's on par for what it would be.
It's an interesting little card.
Yeah, I mean, it's giving you the hash rate on par for what it should be. You're not getting any real gain off of it. You're just getting density.
Yep. I think it's a nice little interesting card. They didn't put any thought into like shroud or anything. It's just like a basic bare bone little card.
Yeah, because they know that they're not selling it to the person that's got
I posted it in the chat below for everybody.
Yeah, I've seen. I saw wind of it, and I was like,
yeah. Videocards.com released an article yesterday night, last night about it. Interesting card. There's like no Sapphire branding other than one of the MOSFETs on the bottom. You can see where it says Sapphire logo and single HDMI, just like the last mining specific card that they released. I mean, you don't really need HDMI output for that card anyway, but still, only singular. Better than like some of Nvidia's cards that they release where there's like no output whatsoever, so you can't. Makes it even harder to diagnose what went wrong.
mm-hmm.
Which is kind of a bummer. It's kind of a setback on some of those. Is if you're like, oh, what's going on? Oh, I don't know. I'm up to the mercy of the software trying to figure it out or anything, because you don't know if it's fully dead when all you need to do is just try to post video. If you post video when you don't get video, then you know you got a dead card. Instead, you got to take like 30, 40 minutes to figure it out.
Right.
You know. Yes. Simple, stupid.
And I've still got to go through the card that Cursed Mining sent me.
Very nice.
And see what the hell's going on. Now that I've like caught up with like a lot of the other little stupid projects that I had going on.
You finish your little projects, and now I'm started on nothing but like little projects.
Oh yeah. Well, your little projects are going to be little projects here and there for a while. You got the next year for your projects.
Right now, I'm actually looking at because we have a well like on our property, and there's a pump that's on the well currently, right? And we don't, it's looks rather old, you know. There's no telling how long it's been since it ran. But we had one of the local well guys come out and he goes, "I'll bet you $10 that thing runs." He goes, "That looks good." He goes, "I've seen way worse." I was like, I mean, if you say it runs, he goes, only one way to find out, man. You need to put power to it.
Yeah, pretty much.
The plug that goes into it right now is actually a generator plug. So whoever was running this well before me was running it off of a generator, not running it off of the electric provided by the electric company.
No, or they had it where they made it to where they could switch it on to a generator in case of power outage.
Right.
So maybe the person was like one of those doomsday preppers, or like, yo, we're probably not going to have power at some point. We got naders.
I'm currently looking at what it's going to take to possibly run it off of solar, since the pump's not too terribly much. I was looking at, just for testing it at Harbor Freight. They got like it's like a 200 watt kit that comes with the battery and everything. And I'm thinking about just hooking it up to that and finding out what happens.
Seeing how the Harbor of the Freights holds up.
Right, at least for a while. I want to get those. They're like 250 watt panels. They come out of Arizona. They're like, I mean, you get them for dirt cheap, like $30 a pop, but you got to buy a pallet, which ends up being like $200-300. I mean, it's nothing like crazy, but still, not a bad idea. You guys get a lot of snow. We get a lot of ice. Not so much snow.
Yeah, I mean, it's not bad to run it like that for like
you need
the
more
house.
than 200 watts for just the pump, though. I need more than 200 watts.
Yeah, well, if you think about it, you need a reserve capacity enough to be able to
Cloudy days and everything.
Well, you still make power even on a cloudy day. So a cloudy day is nothing. UV will still pierce it, but it's at night. You need to make sure you got enough of a reserve capacity to, how many times can you flush your toilet, You almost got to sit there and kind of do the calculation going, hey, I'm going to have a few people over tonight, we're having a birthday party,
Run out of water while you're taking a shower in the middle of the night.
Oh my God, yeah.
That'd be terrible.
Oh God. Like I got soap in places that I shouldn't have soap still.
Terrible.
So yeah,
20% on a clouded day for output is 40 watts enough for pump? I don't know yet. It's really hard to figure out.
Yes. Usually the well pump is a 40 amp. It's a 40 amp circuit.
Okay.
And it all depends on how much, it's like how much output you really have all together.
Man, those Predator engines are awesome. But keep it good. I love those things. Harbor Freight, Honda clone engines. Those little things rip, dude. Take out the governor on the inside, jet the carb on those things, and ooh, they scream. Done it many a time.
Oh man, don't get me started, man. When I was younger, I used to build like little go-karts and lately I came across this YouTube channel called Grind Hard Plumbing Company, and they fucking they make Hot Wheel go-karts.
Nice.
So the Hot Wheel Power Wheels and stuff like that.
Yep.
Oh yeah, they've got one that they nicknamed it Cinderella. It's a Cinderella. Yeah, it's a Cinderella Barbie Jeep that they put in a I forget what motor that they put in there, but you're talking top speed on this thing. It's almost 100 miles an hour. It's got 4-link suspension on it, dude.
Wow.
Oh my god, they're sitting there jumping shit with it. I'm like, oh my lord. They've been to SEMA with their stuff before.
Huh.
I was like, oh, that's fucking hilarious.
Cheaper does the new house have a dedicated mining room? No, it does not.
Oh, you take the
not.
house back.
Yeah, I agree.
House is no good. So all your kids are going into one room, right?
I wish.
The sacrifices.
Originally
had
the
been made.
girls were gonna bunk up, and I would have had like an office, like a full office.
Yep,
But
yep.
that slowly turned into no, we want our own rooms away from each other.
And I would have been like,
Goodbye,
yeah.
office.
I'd be like, yeah, so I'm sorry, that sacrifices have to be made. Thank you, girls, for making the sacrifice.
Yeah. So right now I'm looking at, once I just get the house up, like fully done, electricity and hooked up to the well and the septic come in and get put in. Once that's done, I will then I will turn my attention towards like a detached office from there, from the house, and running in there as well. Put up a divider or something. Figure something out. But at that point, that's what we would do. That's the plan. But right now, house. Luckily, I have a family home that that's letting me use it for basically storage of my rigs and let me keep mining. To build a bunker.
Right.
I wish. I still live in city limits. Like right on the edge of city limits. So they would want to permit everything. Had I not been on city limits, we wouldn't even have a problem right now. Things would have been done a long time ago. Caving with crypto Mikhail, yeah, right?
Right. Spelunking. What's going on, Crypto Noob? What up?
Doing
what up?
Alright, man. Doing alright. Build on the other edge then. Yeah, I would love to get more land.
You see, you make a garage, and you make sure there's an upper loft with plenty of windows.
See, that's what we looked at a garage, maybe like building a garage, and then I would use that for like at least for the rigs and everything. Or I looked at these. They have like a 2-story kit for like a shed, and it's like full 2-story shed, and I was like, that'd be cool. Full upstairs, mining rigs, because heat's gonna rise anyway, and then the whole bottom I would have for like office and full on workspace, and it was like 20 by 20, so it was like 20 foot wide, 20 foot, and then I think it was about, it was like 10 foot ceiling. It wasn't something crazy, so it was about 20 foot tall. It was like a big cube. It wasn't bad. They want pre-built. They wanted like 10 grand for it.
That's actually cheaper than trying to construct it out of wood.
Yeah, I mean that was like fully built, and they set it up. So I mean, they have the kit where you can put it together, and it's cheaper.
That's the kind that I have right now. It was like a 24 by 25 two-bay garage basically, and yeah, it was like $6.5 grand, something like that, for the garage, and then we had to put it on concrete. We put a concrete slab down for the garage itself, and that was another like $6 grand by itself, and so all together, you're looking at 12 grand, and if you're talking, you're for an extra $3 grand, you're putting in a second story to it. Sold. That'd be me though.
Yeah, it's not bad.
No,
It's
no.
pretty nice. And then just outfit it with electricity and
Yep.
be done with it.
Yep. You give it its own feed off the box, off your meter, and
Yep, separate from the house. Keep it, and make it easy to ride off too.
yeah, yeah. You could make the garage have its own meter.
Yep. I definitely would, just for sanctity. Throw another 200 amp in there, 300 amp in there. And be like, "All right,
Well. I was told that those meters could actually handle 400 amps.
Well, I'd already have the house on that one. Oh, I guess it'd be a different meter box. So
Yeah. I was told those meter boxes handle 400 amps natively.
Ooh. So we can go 400 then.
I'm just saying, I happened to have asked one of them, the guys, while he was here. I'm like, how much power what can I do through this thing? And he like looked at it, he's like, what are you doing? And I'm like, oh, I'm running data stuff. He's like, oh. I'm like, yeah, I just got like a fleet of computers in there. I'm like, how far can I push that meter? I've always wondered. He's like, oh, 400 amps, you're good. I was like, oh, thank you. Dear Lord. Time to upgrade stuff.
Sold to me. Yeah, there's a other end of like 2 roads over. There's a good section of land that's actually for sale that I was looking at. It's not in city limits.
Ooh.
And it's like pretty close. I was looking at that. Be nice. The guy next to it has cows, and they walk the land. I'm like, well, you let them walk our land. I'm perfectly fine with that. 400 amps is typically as big as you can go for a residence. Yep. Yeah, the house is a 200 amp service, but I have room inside my panel box to expand, which is amazing. Every house that I've ever rented has never been like that. It's always like, oh no, this is what you get. Don't throw a fit. But now the new one is like 200 amp is what's in there, with room for way more inside the box. Running wires would be a pain though, because I have spray foam insulation inside the walls. That would be terrible to run through.
Man, it's just messy. It's not that bad. It's just messy. It like shreds up, and you're like, oh, I gotta vacuum all this up. Ah, it's all over me. Ah.
Right. Yeah. See, we're looking at. Give you the guesses. We're looking at building a house that is the upstairs room, which I've already claimed as a mining room since it will be hot up there anyways. Right. Might as well.
Right.
Might as well.
I've got the luxury
1
of
second.
having a spare bedroom that has 3 windows on it. I'm like, if we're not gonna use it, here we go. I figured out what to do with it now. But I would not. I'd love to get to a point where they have to upgrade my power delivery. Be like, give me more power. Oh yes. Oh man. And I still have, like I was saying, I still have to fix this one graphics card over here. I've got another another customer that needs to pick up their equipment now. It's like, it's like, take your equipment back, pay me.
Who, Mr. Smokey?
Oh yeah,
You do not let him take his cards back, man.
Oh
You
man.
were sending them back to a known abuser. He is gonna be a repeat offender.
Yeah, I know.
You can't do that to them, man. You pay him off.
Right.
Keep them cards. Put them in a home. Witness Protection Agency. They died.
Right.
They were no good. They wouldn't hash. I threw them in the trash.
That's what he originally thought. He's like, man, I hope I didn't kill him, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, I'll take a look at him.
Should have said, yep, you killed him.
Right. As soon as they turned on, and I was like, oh, I'm going to turn this off now.
Oh, I agree, Keeper of the Code. I'm right there with you, buddy. I'm one state above you. I said open windows only work during the winter in Texas. It was too hot. Yep, pretty much. Winter and fall.
So I will disagree with you, Keeper of the Code. So
It's humid.
If you move the air faster, and you make your room, you pull your room into a vacuum, you get a Venturi effect. This Venturi effect will actually give you added natural cooling from going from high pressure to low pressure. With that also, it'll carry out more heat out of the room faster, and that's the name of the game. Like you can be sitting there and mining with the outdoor temperature at 130 degrees. Your cards should be fine as long as you move the air faster. It's all mathematical formula after that.
I know.
Because otherwise, Bitmain would have an issue because they're open air. All they got is fans.
Mm-hmm.
They would not be able to mine out in Texas. So, and that's out in Rockdale. I think that's the town that they're in.
Yeah. Sounds about right. I agree, but easier said than done. Can be at times, you know, depending on your
your situation. Your situation. Yeah.
It's not as easy just to knock out a wall, you know, put a fan in your residential home.
Right.
Obviously, we get that.
Right.
That's
I have the luxury of my room that I picked as a corner room, and I've got 2 windows on one wall and a single window on a second wall. So 3 windows in there. I'm using 2 windows as exhaust and then 1 as intake. So it's kind of worked out quite nicely.
Hey, what's up, Sonya Miri? Good evening.
What up?
Thanks for checking in, buddy. Yeah, Tech Man, the geothermal cooling, man. You're on that one hard. That one would be really cool. Not gonna lie. I definitely thought about it whenever I come time to put in the new shop, or not shop, well, I guess workspace, whatever. I honestly thought about throwing what you're saying, putting some copper tubing below the concrete pad, so that way it would conduct the cold, be cold all the time. You can run a line down your well and use it as a loop.
You can even sit there and use have a tube that runs out underneath the ground, and then have a natural intake from there, and you'll have a nice cooling effect of it going underground.
Yeah. A cool, what, 72 degrees?
Yeah, yeah. You'll have it'll be the temperature of a cellar if you do it right.
Oh, yeah, for sure, Tech, man. I've already looked at it. I'm like, oh, man. You know, those people get, like, heating lamps and stuff like that to warm their wells during the winter. I'm just going to, like, throw, like, an S9 or something into
Keeper
the well
Dakota,
house.
he's like, Rockdale is only about an hour from him, so you're not far from where Bitmain's setting up.
Yep. Just throw an ASIC in the well house. It'll keep those pipes nice and toasty. 55 degrees. Okay. Even better. How deep you gotta go though in order to achieve the consistent 55 degrees?
I'd almost say that you have to get to cellar depth, which is I actually forget how deep you have to go for that. I've never studied cellars.
I was talking about geothermal homes or mining rigs. Both. All of the above. D.
Right, because like you can make geothermal
below the frost line. So that's what, 12 feet?
No.
No,
48 inches is the frost line.
48 inches?
Yeah.
Here it's 18. Is what technically says. Here it's 18.
Well, we get a little colder up north, so they want you between. Actually, I think it's 36 to 48. You have to be in between there.
Let's see.
And then you start getting some of the cooling effect. But I would say like your
by state.
I would say your floor though, for a good cellar, because that's basically what you're trying to do. You're trying to get cellar depth. So you're figuring, you know, what you have to be below the frost line minimum. So you're looking at what 7-8 feet deep.
20 inches. 20 inches in a
You
It's
warm area over there. Psh.
Yeah.
But
20 inches.
so I would say like, you know, you're probably looking at, you know, around 8 feet
Yeah,
deep.
yours is 36.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're at 36. According to the interwebs.
Yeah, we get cold up here.
Keeper, the good frost line here is 8 inches.
Like it gets cold enough over here where you can drive cars on lakes. It's interesting to go across the lake on a snowmobile. Just
I think the coldest or the deepest is Minnesota.
he's like
inches.
Florida
80 inches in Minnesota. Is frost line.
Oh yeah, they get a little
That's insane.
colder.
Florida has none. Yeah, Florida is. You're probably looking at the same one I am. You scroll over Florida and it has like nothing. Not even a number.
Right? It's like for Florida, it's like they get cold, and if it frosts up, everything freezes. Just done. Like I couldn't imagine trying to buy and I'm not talking trash about anybody mining out in Florida. I don't know your situation, but man, I've seen stuff like ASICs coming out of Florida, and like they are rusty.
Oh yeah.
Oh, they are disgusting. Oh my god, no.
No. Hard pass.
It's like how do you rust out the steel grate on there? How?
Very not carefully.
That is unnatural. Did you put this by Jared's fucking water wall?
No, I just left it in Florida.
No!
You know, we have this thing called a sunroom. And I just left it in there to die.
Yeah.
I helped a guy out in Florida, and he had a rig, and he left his. That's where he left his rig. It's the only place his parents would let him keep it. It was 5 GTX 1070s at the time, and that's what it was, and that's where he kept them in the sunroom to die. Stability was his worst enemy, because they would get a real humid day and just eat it alive.
Oyster's got a question for me. He's like, do your rigs get more efficient during the winter, or can you crank them while the temps stay the same? Well, so the only one that I've had to dial back on in any way, shape, or form is the S9, because it does have an upper temperature threshold limit, and for where it sits at, I can't get enough airflow in there. I'd have to do a couple of redesigns on it. I have a couple of ideas, but for me, it would be easier to just deal with it the way that it is right now, and then just get a building that I can just dedicate for mine and Mikkel's mining. So I'm not wanting to go through all of it, but that's the S9 is the only one that I've had to turn down a little bit, only on the hot days. On a not hot day like right now, I can just lean on that thing hardcore. But to answer your question though, for the rest of the GPUs, my 1070s, my 1080s, my 3090, 3080s, 3060 Ti's, the 6800 XT, I do nothing with those because I'm moving enough airflow for them that it really doesn't make a difference what the temperature is on them. They just hash along the same. Now, what I do get though is whenever the temperature does get really cold in there during the winter time, I can actually turn the fans down. I don't have to move. I'm not so concentrated on moving so much air. I'm not really concerned about them living their life between 40 Celsius up to 65 Celsius. I'm not worried about it. I will make them live life into that range just because I know it's not too cold nor is it too hot. You don't really get much efficiency by letting your GPUs hit winter temperatures. You actually run a chance of icing up, condensation, and thermal expansion on the VGA core, which will cause the die to actually crack because you have heat built up in the inner core and the outer core of it is frozen, basically, if you think about it. So you're going to want to make sure that your stuff stays within a viable temperature range. It's just easiest just to allow them to live life right at that 45 Celsius range in the wintertime. That's where I have my stuff. And believe it or not, I let it all just heat up my whole house. So I get the added efficiency that I'm not running my furnace that much either. It's power, it's BTUs I'm already generating. And if I don't need to run my furnace while mining, I'm saving money in other places. So I mean, in the wintertime, it depends on how you want to look at it. But yes, I do get a little bit more efficient because I don't have to worry about as much with the cooling. So I'm not running fans and stuff. That's the only thing I get. I don't really... because of I've already set my stuff up with the airflow, and they breathe so nicely, I don't have any issues with, you know, it's 100 degrees out or 110 degrees outside. My stuff's running just fine. And I've got a bunch of them that don't have any fans running on them, and they're still running just fine. I got to go in there and do videos of me just taking the shrouds off and be like, yeah, we're going to commit to this.
Full commit.
Yeah. It's like I've got GPUs with no fans, and they're in the server cases, and they're not overheating. So I'm like, might as well let them breathe a little bit better, get the temperatures a little bit nicer. Oyster's like, you can't plug a riser in a full PCI slot, only in the small ones, right? If you're getting risers, there's no point of getting a mobile with 2 or 3 PCI slots, right? Actually, no. You can, yeah, you can actually get the U-bit 4-way splitter, U-bit 8-way splitter, and actually
you can even use a riser inside of a full 16x.
Yeah.
Slot. There's no issue.
Yep.
No issue at all.
None whatsoever. So, it's just picking out what configuration you want to do.
You have 6 full 16x slots. You could plug in 6 risers into that bad boy,
right,
and it's not give you any issues at all.
Yep. I've got an AMD
so
board.
Small for like pinouts is because that is all that is really needed for basic use of a graphics card.
Yep.
You can post video, you can play games off a riser. I mean, you'll lose frames for sure.
Just a little bit.
But it is doable.
Yep.
Totally doable. A lot of those extra slots don't really do anything.
TechMan, if your cards are getting to 75C, I don't care about it being a 98-degree day. You're not moving enough air. You got to think of you. It doesn't matter. There's no humidity that he's fighting, so he just needs more airflow. The problem that a lot of people forget is that you're dealing with a radiator. Cars have radiators. If you can drive through the desert and your car doesn't overheat, you got to apply the same rule of principle across your graphics card, even if you're dealing with a 100-degree day. It just means that you're not moving enough air. So for every what is it? For every, I think it's 1,200 BTUs, you need 400 CFM of air movement around the device directly to keep that device wicking the heat away from it. And then you've got to remember it has to go into the room, and then you have to account for the temperature of the day for the amount of BTUs that are being added into everything. And then you got to take the size of your room and then how much you can exchange to air per hour. So I don't know the size of your room, but for me, I can do 110-degree day, and I can keep the room at a relative temperature of about 102 degrees even on a 110-degree day. And all of my rigs will not get hotter than 67, 68 C on some of the Zotacs. They're not really good about cooling.
Good old Zotac.
He's like, I'm creating a vacuum in the tent, basically. Just because it also depends on how bad of a vacuum you're already pulling in the tent. So if you're pulling too much of a vacuum, you've got too much of a restriction, which means you can't exchange the air out fast enough, which means it needs more airflow.
It needs inflow.
Yeah, it needs way more inflow. These oysters, like if you have a Mobo with a 3x full PCI slot and a PCI case with 4 to 7 120 millimeter fans, what would it be okay with 3 1060s in it? The only thing that you would have an issue with is to make sure that the motherboard, the PCIe slots are far enough apart to allow the cards to be able to breathe, and
Or
then
even like allow them to like have another card.
right.
My Asus Strix B350 motherboard has 3 full PCIe slots, but even if I was to try to slot 3 cards, the top slot kind of covers it. So you have to like be aware, because if it's
Well,
if
let's
it's a chunkier card, it's gonna cut off your space.
right. You're gonna have a card start. Well, a lot of times what I end up seeing is that he's talking about the 470. Okay, so they do, but the bottom 2 cards are gonna be breathing off the back sides of each other. With the
The very
way
bottom card's gonna breathe off of the power supply,
depends on the case.
and how the case is set up.
He's talking about like a full tower, so it'll be up a little bit higher. But the 2 bottom slots, depending on the card choice, they might not have enough breathing room in between. If you get like a 2.5 DIN slot, it's gonna be cutting off real close. Because usually in those configurations, yes, you could put the dual graphics cards in there to turn your tower into a workstation, and then
Looking
usually
at the X470 board,
Mhm.
for sure your bottom 2 slots are going to be full.
yeah,
Your bottom slot is what's going to be the most concerning.
yeah,
The worst, like, is
they're
if you'll
really
even have
close.
enough room.
Yeah, that's and the way that they have the way that they're supposed to be configured is that you put the 2 graphics cards into it, and then one of them gets put in. It's like usually like a network card or a video capture card, and you just turn it into your online streaming PC or something like that.
Correct. I actually have, in my mainstream PC, I run the dual 3060s right now. They fit perfectly fine. I actually, when I originally first got my second 3060, I was actually going to throw it in there with my 3060 and my 1660, but my 1660, or my 3060 Ti, sorry, was, it was a For the Win 3, so it was a triple DIN card. So it was too thick to allow another card to go below it. It was actually it would actually interfere with the other slot. But if I could easily throw like 3 3060 XC like EVGA cards, because they are only like a 1.5 DIN card.
Right.
So easily those would slot in.
Right,
No
and
problem.
that's why I say it depends on the card.
Yeah. All of it just really depends.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Build your own DIY open air case. Yep. Seen people do that many a time. Zip tie them bad boys to a freaking $20 wire rack. Done it. Guilty as charged.
Been there, hang him like a meat locker.
Jump Change sells these hangers that actually make it look a little nicer.
I would show those off, but I already shipped those.
Yeah, I don't. Mine are in a box at the other house right now. Because that's actually, I plan to have at least my test bench, like, of course, with me at the new place. And I might meat locker that one because it'd be easiest. And zip ties and a wire rack shelf. That's right, man. That's the beginnings. If you watch my personal channel, the outro, you see at one point all the graphics cards I had just hung like a meat, just hung on a wire rack, you know, just strung up. Those are probably the coolest that they ever ran. As soon as I put them into those Beta T2 cases, they started getting warmer because those things. Those are like the worst cases that they ever invented. Those T2s because that the bottom where the motherboard and stuff is not fully open. It kind of traps the heat like right there. No fans down there, nothing.
The only thing I like about it is it allows you to really kind of hide the wiring.
Yeah, it makes great showpieces.
Oh yeah, they're like trophy pieces at that point.
I have 3 of those at this time, you know, and they all are like very nicely, like neatly tucked away on the sides because, you know, it hides. The other Veta frames don't because they are fully open. Yeah. I like those new 12 GPU racks that Pan is getting from AAA Wave Frame. Those are pretty nice looking. They're nicely spaced out. Of course, he's like using them as like 6 card frames, even though they're for 12s, because he's using them for like 3080s and 3080 Ti's and 3090s because they need a little extra space between the cards. Just a little extra space makes them live a little happier. That's for sure. But any other questions, guys, before we roll out of here? I gotta go put some stuff up still. Go to bed so I can get back at it tomorrow. Start digging this trench.
Right. Any other questions before we head up out of here?
If you feel an itch to go to Micro Center, look out for some 6600 XTs. Definitely look for one.
He's like, you guys think a 12 GPU case for an H110 would be sellable?
I mean, it's always another pickaxe.
Right?
So, I mean, just depends on the need. 12 GPU like server cases would be ideal for people. If it's like, you know, you want to put the most cards you can, fill it up. You don't want to have like, especially if like an H110 like Pro, you know, you would be able to have all 12. Some of the cases that you buy those motherboards for, you can't even utilize all of the slots because you run out of space before you run out of cards.
And that also depends on your school of thought on there too. And it's like, yeah, it's cool to have 12 GPUs on there. I see why people would want to do that, but then if you have a glitch for whatever reason, do you want to have it a glitch on a motherboard with 12 GPUs or have a glitch on a motherboard with 8 GPUs?
Yeah.
It's a conundrum.
Says it doesn't matter what type of fans you use on a frame. High CFM fans would be preferable. You want to move as much air as possible.
Well, high static pressure.
Yeah. Though fans on a frame have kind of shown before that they don't really do much. the cards are already pushing the air out the back. So all you're really doing is just helping focus the air that way and pulling some kind of cool air. It's already hot air around it. So I mean, you're not really doing much, but I mean, the more CFM that you can push out, the better. Just wanna move as much
But
air
if you
as
put them
possible.
in, but if you put them into a server case,
Oh yeah,
then it's a whole different ball game because now
then
you
it
just
matters.
then you're sitting there basically making tunnel ram.
Yep.
Yeah. If you're not gonna figure it out, I'm a car guy, so I'm gonna associate stuff like this to a car. So, to me, a GPU has a radiator on it. You don't need a fan on a radiator of your car if you're driving down the road doing 40 miles an hour or faster. The airflow going through the radiator is good enough. You only need the radiator when you come to a stop. So if you could just permanently simulate 40 mile an hour air, well then it should be good to go, right? that's my thought pattern on it. And nobody has seemed to have different logic behind this and tell me that I'm wrong. If I'm wrong, please correct me. But that's my viewpoint on it. You're just trying to simulate the best airflow.
That's right. I mean, even Jay's got the bug, man. I know we were catching up on some Discord talk, and Jay's got the mining bug. Realizing he's like, oh my gosh, these cards are making coins, and I can take these coins and trade them, and start utilizing, his trading skills.
Oh yeah.
And he's just, just turning money into higher profits.
Right. Taking like
It's a whole nother
some
animal.
ultimate shit coins and being like, oh man, I'm gonna take these shit coins until it starts earning me some fucking bitcoins. Yeah.
And he's even he said today in Discord that he's actually looking at streaming tomorrow. So you guys might see Jay tomorrow, guys. There might be a trading with the view with your boy. So whenever he, just stay tuned. Make sure you like, subscribe, hit the bell notification. Hit that bell and you'll get a notification when there is a live stream, or whenever it gets posted to go live later in the day. And then say, yo, we missed you. Because we all miss him.
Oh hell yeah.
Glad he's getting all of his stuff straightened out and everything's getting better.
Right.
I definitely know how the struggle is at the time. Dude, moving's been a rough one. What up, son of a tech?
Yo.
How you doing, buddy? Glad you're here. Glad. Thank you for stopping by. Right before we head out of here for the evening, I appreciate you nonetheless.
And definitely stay tuned to me getting down to crypto and hot rods with doing some teardowns of GPU shrouds to put them back into server cases with no fans on there.
Oh boy.
Oh yeah. I'm done playing with the fucking fans. I am. I'm moving enough airflow, and these fucking fans are like just they break over time.
Oh, yours are the gigabytes?
I have a bunch of gigabytes. No,
And Asus?
yeah, my Asus, my 580s. I've got a couple of broken fans finally on them.
Yep.
I mean, they're old. They're old. I get it, but I just need to sit there and take the damn shrouds off, open up some airflow inside the case that way, and let them eat more efficiently. I mean, that's three fans per card.
I'd be curious to see. I mean, obviously it's gonna work because you're just not moving air. Or you're gonna be moving air more freely over, over the shroudless body, with just the coolers.
Yep.
Like if the fans aren't working, really all those shrouds are doing is blocking airflow from actually physically touching the coolers.
When I do the video, I'm gonna show you, because like Whenever I was
Are you
playing,
gonna live stream it tomorrow?
I'm
Or what are you doing?
I'm not sure if I'm gonna do it tomorrow. It depends on what me and the wife are doing.
Give me a heads up like a day in advance. I mean, I can plan out my day.
Okay, cool. Yeah,
I
I've
know
got
exactly what I need to watch this.
Right, I've got to find out what the wife's going to be doing. Otherwise, it'll either be tomorrow or Monday, or it will be Monday. And all my server cases, they've already got a bunch of, 120, 250 CFM fans on there already. So it's
Right.
like, I just need to move to air now. Done with it.
Yeah, Panda did that on my inbox. Cards were too thick and the fans to fit, so he stripped them.
Oh yeah, they're
Yeah.
the fan shrouds are like resting up on there. I was pulling out 580s, and I saw one of the backs like it has like a rub mark, and I'm like, I look at the fan behind it. I'm like, wow, dude. I'm like, holy cow. I'm like, yeah, these fans need to go, and I'm like, damn. The room was 120 degrees and nothing was getting hot. And there's like, when I open it up, you're gonna be like, dude, there's no fucking airflow in there. And I'm like, you see, this is what I'm talking about. It's the magic of real good airflow in a case. You don't even have to have. You just need to wick it away from it.
Right.
Right. And thank you, son of a tech. Yo, you rock as usual.
Yes, for sure, buddy. As long as the fan and the heat sinks aren't the wrong way. Yep. I mean, even it'll still be better than no fans, even on the cards. So.
It doesn't matter if they're vertical or
But
horizontal.
it would be fantastic if they were horizontal, because that would.
Oh yeah,
that would just make more sense.
It make it so much easier, but they're not, unfortunately. Oh yeah.
Of course.
Oh yeah.
He's like, yeah, no.
It really sucks.
I checked it out and I was like, dang.
Yep.
Oh well, it'll still work. It just won't be as cool.
Mm-hmm. So with that, guys, I guess we're gonna head up out of here.
Oh, show.
All right, so guys, definitely smash that Lizzie like button, subscribe, hit the bell notification if you're new here and all that good stuff. If you'd like to join the Discord, links are down below. It's free. If you'd like to, get some of the behind the scene knowledge, we do have a Patreon. It's your choice, whatever. No pressure, nothing like that. And we'll definitely see you guys all on the next one. Yo.
Later, guys.